Hi everybody, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 13th of May going through until Sunday the 19th of May 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for joining me. I am going to give you a daily rundown of what the planets are doing in the sky and how that's going to affect you in this week of May. And these horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac, because I'm looking at all of the energy that's being created by the planets and the relationships they form and how it affects all of us. So this is a general reading for everybody. The horoscope is based on UK time, and I'm gonna go through the week day by day. So on Monday the 13th of May, we've got the Sun in Taurus. So we're in Taurus season at the moment. So the Sun is the most important thing in our solar system. You know, if it weren't for the Sun, really, none of the other planets would matter. It's the center of our solar system, and in astrology it has similar importance. It's the center of who you are. It's your identity, it's what fulfills you, it's what fires you up. And in Taurus, it's in an earth sign. So you're very connected to the earth. You're very connected to everything that has to do with Taurus. Money, beautiful things, flowers, luxuries, securities, sensuality, the body. If you think of Taurus, it's the sign of the bull. So it's strength, it's charging at things. It can also be anger and muscle and power and the body and real, you know, really as being as grounded as you can possibly be. So a lot of people who kind of live most of their lives in like this bubble of fantasy and in some sort of, you know, alternate reality, they lose themselves in books and they're very spiritual and things. When the Sun is in Taurus this time of year, that's when most of us kind of hit the ground hardest, and that's when we're most present, we're most here in our bodies. The Sun in Taurus trines Pluto, which is the planet of transformation and change, and that's also in an earth sign, that's in Capricorn. And Capricorn is like Taurus in a way, but it's focused on working with the physical, and it's not as stubborn and rigid. It's more about getting to the top of the mountain and making sure that you're using your skills to get ahead in life, whereas Taurus just is. I am, therefore I am valuable. So on Monday the 13th, you really have a lot of personal power and a lot of belief in yourself. And the trine is a harmonious relationship in astrology. The two planets kind of blend their energies together, and that allows you to make permanent changes in your life. Because Pluto is like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's powerful, and it's able to take things that are negative and to transform them into positives. And because it's in this earth sign Capricorn, if you put in a bit of legwork, you can really transform things for the better. So that extends to all areas of your life: work, personal relationships, finances, nutrition, your appearance. Anything you want to alter, you're able to make changes to. And this whole week really is a very May kind of energy that allows you to transform circumstances in your life and to let go of things which you've been unable to let go of in the past, things that you're gripping onto tightly, you know, baggage, emotional wounds, things that you're carrying around with you that really serve no purpose. So it's about letting go and blossoming into something new and something of your own making, something that you like and you use your imagination, and something that you want to become. So it's a strong start to the week. On Tuesday the 14th of May, We have the moon going into Libra at 6:52 in the evening. The moon is the way you feel. And on a subtle level, it's the way you communicate with yourself, and it's the way you communicate with others, and the way you experience the world. And in Libra, it's in the most balanced sign of the zodiac. Libra is the scales, and Libra is the only non-sentient kind of sign in the zodiac. It's the only sign that's not a living thing. It's a scale. And it's all about balance and bringing evenness to the world and overcoming obstacles and bringing people together and being fair and applying the same rules to everybody, regardless of where you come from or how special you think you are. It's an even playing field. So with the moon in Libra, that applies to your inner world as well. There's balance, and you don't feel incredibly riled up, or there isn't this huge inner turbulence going on. There's balance and weighing things up carefully and thinking and being interested in creating more beauty in life through balance and building through harmony and loving, positive communication. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty. So this moon, it forms a quincunx with Uranus and Taurus. A quincunx is another harmonious relationship. And Uranus is the planet of the unexpected and the miraculous. That's in Taurus, so the real world, which, funnily enough, is also ruled by Venus. So we've got this inner sense of tranquility and balance, connecting with really the chaotic and unexpected in a physical sense. So there's calm within, and there's total unpredictability without. And by without, I mean in the external world. And that works well together because you're able to manifest and project your charm and your balance and your tranquility out into the world, and you're able to manifest the things that you want. So Tuesday is a great day to manifest your own hopes and dreams. Now, the Libra moon also opposes, so it's 180 degrees away from Chiron in Aries. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So it has nothing to do with personal healing and taking the initiative to heal. It doesn't need it. It's perfectly balanced. I don't need to be healed, thank you very much. I'm great as I am. So on Tuesday, you're able to smooth over any problems that you may have in your life and to heal them through charm, communication, and making a physical effort to transform any issues that you may have in your life and to transform them into assets. So it's about using that cunning, harmonious balance that Libra gives you, and using the energy and the power of Uranus and Taurus to tip the scales in your favor, because you have control over what is going on. And Uranus is really, really, really a very powerful outer planet. It's like taking a plug and putting it into a socket. And because you're so connected with it on this day, and you know what you want so deeply within yourself, because the scales are just right there, and they say, this is what we need to create balance. It's like, I want to have a better job. And because you realize that within yourself, it's a truth. And if it's a truth, or you see it as a truth, your truth, then you commit to it. You think about it in a way that has a lot of certainty associated with it, and you create that in your real life. On Wednesday, we have a really powerful day. First of all, we have Mars, the male principle, going into Cancer. Mars is the it's the red planet of masculinity and war and drive. Aries is the god of war in mythology, and Mars rules Aries. Cancer is about nurturing, it's about being family oriented, and it's about caring, and it's about being selfless and creative. So all the things that Mars really isn't. So Mars is at a disadvantage here, but it serves us because rather than ripping and shredding and going to war, Mars is now saying, how can I help you? So think if the soldier has been retrained as a maitre d', who is now bringing you your sparkling water at exactly the right temperature. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, and that enters Taurus, the sign that it rules. So Venus in Taurus is about physical sensuality and beauty and romance and loving the world and taking the time to smell the roses and lying in the grass and enjoying the sunshine and going to the beach and feeling the wind in your hair and the sun on your skin. It's all those very simple pleasures in life that you really start to enjoy. And also obviously simple pleasures like kissing and holding hands and enjoying yourself, being with others. And also the thing that the fact that we have the male principle Mars and the female principle Venus both changing today kind of gives them something in common. So the opposite sexes have something in common today. So they've got common ground because they're both going through something. They're both going through changes. So men and women kind of meets in the middle here today. What's the book? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Well, both Mars and Venus are entering different signs, and that's why they're closer together and they have more in common than they usually do. So if there's something that needs to be discussed, then today is the day to do it. So like I said, Mars is kind of forced to be more loving and nurturing when it is in Cancer, and it's forced to be less selfish. Mars can often be incredibly annoying with its sense of entitlement and in its sense of I am the boss and I am the most important thing in the universe. We all need Mars in our chart to get things done, to sometimes give us the oomph to, you know, get things going. But when there's too much Mars energy, it can be off-putting. It can be like, all right, we get it, you're the boss, okay, just whatever. And too much Venus can also be too much, because then you're just nurturing and tending to and loving, and you're not being as productive. But we've got great balance here today. Although Venus wins because Venus is in a sign that it rules and Mars isn't. So love rules supreme. So what I would say is that because the two are connected and have something in common today, and Venus is in the sign that it loves, and we've got the moon in Libra as well, which is also ruled by Venus, the next few weeks look really, really ideal for love and romance. So if you're single and looking for love and romance, then go out and do that, and make yourself available in this digital age. Use the dating apps, although they can be somewhat dehumanizing in my experience. Try meeting people in person, get friends to set you up, go to social events and functions. If you're in the northern hemisphere, the sun's out now for the first time. I mean, it's still snowing in Austria, but in other places it's warming up. And yeah, it's time to sit in the cafes outside and to watch the people go by and to meet friends on the plaza and to eat ice cream and to have fun. So yeah, this is the 15th of May. Next couple of weeks, really, really good for love and romance. If you're already in a relationship, then use that, the fact that you're blessed in that way, that you do have someone who you love, and go and do things in nature. Remember, Taurus is very earthy. Go for a hike. Here in the UK, we have something called the National Trust, and it looks after all of these beautiful places in the UK, like Stonehenge and beautiful forests and stuff. And I remember I used to work with a lady, and she said, if you ever see National Trusts as a direct debit on that person's account, don't bother with them because they'll be boring. I totally disagree. I think if you pay the National Trust, or if you make a commitment to seeing things in nature and you enjoy the beauty that planet Earth has to offer us, then you're not boring, but you're someone who appreciates the simple, beautiful pleasures in life. And I don't think that's boring at all. I think that's very wise. And you're not just out for the thrills. You're also able to love and engage on a very calm and positive, nurturing level, and in a considered and steady way. On Thursday the 16th of May, we've got the moon going into Scorpio at 9:27 in the evening. Now, it goes from the scales of balance and it dives down to the emotional truth of things. Scorpio is much deeper down emotionally, and it's much closer to emotional truths than Libra is, because Libra is the surface of the pond, nice and calm, with lilies and beautiful things and dragonflies flying overhead. And Scorpio is in the pond and is the stuff that's going on beneath the surface emotionally and what's bubbling up. So you become more focused on your inner world. Mercury is in Taurus, the communication planet is in a practical sign, so communication is very good. And it trines Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn is the father of the chart. It's the head teacher, it's structure, it's security. That's also in an earth sign. So communication is very much based around how can we get things done, how can we get things organized, how can we work towards a positive future, how can we be responsible. Very, very problem-free, this combination. The Scorpio moon also opposes Venus and Uranus in Taurus. So Taurus is about control of the physical world and security and structure in the body. Scorpio is about the emotional world. So the two are at opposite ends of the spectrum. And the Scorpio moon also forms a trine, so a harmonious relationship with Mars in Cancer, which makes sense because Scorpio is a water sign and it forms a harmonious relationship with the male principle, which is in a water sign, urging you to nurture and take care of things. So the thing that's least complicated on Thursday the 16th is communication. That really flows easily and naturally. Emotionally, you're super intelligent with this Scorpio moon. That's added in now. And you're aware of any kind of emotional undercurrents that are kind of going on in communication, but you're especially aware of things that are left out and the things that are not being said. So you're like an emotional detective here. So you'll be able to weed out your enemies, you know, the ones who appear with big smiles on their faces and the knife behind their backs. And you can figure out who you can trust. So the guy who's always grumpy and who's kind of like, oh yeah, good morning, he may be your biggest ally in the office and you don't know. And the lady at reception is always like, oh, good morning, how are you? She might despise you and you don't know. In my experience, when I go into spiritual groups, and I've gone into lots of spiritual groups, and people welcome me with big smiles and these soft spiritual voices, I get very suspicious because something's off. If you're smiling at me and speaking to me with this super put on fake spiritual voice, then I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in reality and having an actual spiritual experience. I'm not interested in faking it for other people. But anyway, that's my experience. So whatever you like, and whatever, maybe you are one of those people who likes to put on a kind of spiritual facade because that you feel like you need to hide something, or that's just how you are. it doesn't matter, but the truth of what works for you in other people, and the things that make you clash with other people, really become apparent to you. So none of us are mind readers, okay? But today, that it's really likely that other people are going to show you their colors and you're going to show them yours. So it's a day of revelation. So even there are going to be a lot of unexamined moments. There are going to be moments where you're just absolutely yourself and you just react in a natural way, and other people are going to be paying attention to that and saying, oh, there he is. That's the real him. You know, like if you get something put on your desk and you don't think about it and you just flip out and you say, oh my God, couldn't you put these on my desk? You know, people will notice that and say, okay, he's a little bit volatile when we don't give him notice about extra work. Or you see someone smiling at someone as they come in through the door and saying, hello, welcome to our group. And then as soon as they've taken a seat, they turn to their friend and whisper, she won't last long. You'll see that kind of behavior. And it's a great day to weed out the good people in your life and the people who aren't so helpful. So the people who don't have your best interests at heart. And it's important, you know, like getting serious for a minute, it's really important to surround yourself with people who do have your best interests at heart, because life is hard enough and you don't need to have moles and spies and secret enemies in your camp. Whoever said, you know, keep your enemies closer, I don't agree with. No, whoever said keep your, what? Keep your friends close but your enemies closer, I really disagree with that. I think keep your enemies as far away from you as possible and surround yourself with loving, friendly people, because your enemies, who cares about your, you know? Get rid of your enemies or people who don't like you. There's no reason, unless you're locked in a prison, that you have to do anything, that you have anything to do with them. So Thursday is self-revelation day. And revelation of the others. On Friday, the 17th of May, we've still got the moon in Scorpio, so emotionally you're still very, very aware. That opposes Uranus and Taurus. So the emotions, again, are very, very, you're very aware of the emotions, and the physical world kind of takes a back seat. The Scorpio moon also trines Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the planet of dreams and imagination, and it's the higher octave of Venus, the personal planet of love. Neptune is like the outer planet, the global planet of love and beauty. It's in Pisces, the sign that it rules, so it's absolutely focused on loving other people and really being generous and positive. Mercury's in Taurus, so still great practical communication, and that trines Pluto and Capricorn. So we've got a wonderful, wonderful ability to communicate in a practical way to affect change and to get things done. I don't like this color, I'd prefer a bit of a lighter beige, thank you. Okay, we'll do a lighter beige. Really simple, easy, no room for misunderstanding. And also, because of the moon and Uranus and Neptune, it's one of the most romantic days of the year, I would say. It's like that moment when, in The Little Mermaid, when Eric and Ariel are sitting in the boat, and Sebastian's singing Kiss the Girl, and it's very romantic and all the lights are on, and it's really, if you want to surprise your loved one or loved ones with a special kind of treat, or you really want to demonstrate that you love someone, Friday is the day to do it, because unlike in that Eric and Ariel video where they don't end up kissing, it's likely that in terms of love and romance, things will work out for you here on Friday the 17th of May. It really is one of the best days romantically for you. So take that on board and make the most of it. Saturday the 18th of May, we've got the full moon in Scorpio at 9:13 in the evening. I'm going to make a separate video on this tomorrow, so watch out for that coming out tomorrow. But a full moon is when the moon hits its completion point for the month and it lets go of all of its energy, and it really lets go of the energy it's been holding on to, in this case Scorpio. So you really, all of us feel a lot of Scorpio energy, which is about emotional truth and being in touch with ourselves and understanding what other people are going through, and having compassion and empathy. Venus is in Taurus, so loving on a very practical way, and that conjuncts Uranus, the planet of energy and the miraculous, also in Taurus. So this is also really a wonderfully romantic day. Friday was building up to it, and Saturday I think is also really incredibly romantic, and love is in the air. So I'll make a separate video to go into more detail about the full moon in Scorpio, because there's always more going on with the full moons. They form relationships with different planets, and I'll look at the additional meaning. But the brief version is that the romantic, loving theme continues, especially with the conjunction of Venus and Uranus, because anything miraculous in a romantic and loving way can happen. So the start of new relationships, conception, really good news when it comes to love, proposals, moving in together, taking the next step in your relationship, really knowing for sure that you're loved rather than questioning it, really trusting the other person completely for the first time, growing in your relationship. On Sunday the 19th, we've got the moon going into Sagittarius at 1:22 in the morning. And the Sagittarius moon trines Chiron in Aries. So we've got two centaurs here. Sagittarius is the centaur. It's a fire sign, and it's half horse, half man. And he's got his bow and arrow, and he's pointing that arrow at the higher realms and at some place in the future. And he gallops towards that, and he's always on a mission. He's always moving. He's fast, and he travels in a physical sense. So taking trips to different places, but he's also able to take off and to gallop off into the higher realms and to discover spiritual truths. Chiron is the other centaur, and in mythology this is the centaur that existed in the sky, and he taught medicine to the other gods. And that's in Aries, also in fire, moving forwards. So Sunday is another huge day, like Friday was a huge day in the sense that it's one of the most romantic days of the year. Sunday is one of the most important days of the year when it comes to personal healing. So if you've got any retreats or seminars or healing appointments lined up, then give yourself a pat on the back for being so intuitive and having kind of sensed that and planned ahead. Because on Sunday, with a little bit of work and a little bit of kind of looking at yourself and doing a little bit of self-inventory work, you're able to let go of things that you've been gripping onto for years and years and years. And like I said earlier in the week, it's a week of letting go of baggage that no longer serves you, and thereby creating space to create something beautiful that you do want in your life. So, you know, if you think of yourself literally with two suitcases in your hand, all of the baggage from the past that you're carrying around with you, disappointments and guilt and once you let go of those two suitcases, you've got two hands that you can do things with. You can plant new flowers, and you can paint pictures, and you can create something new. So that's what this week is all about. You've got these extreme days full of love and romance and personal healing and things like that. But altogether, the week is about recognizing your inner strength and your inner beauty, and allowing that to just kind of wash over you, and owning that, and knowing it, and then kind of radiating that energy outward so that other people become aware of it. That's what attracts other people to you. Pushing out the negativity because positive things are coming in and the baggage is pushed out, or letting go of the baggage and making space for positive things to enter your life. So whichever way you do it, it's going to have a great effect on your day-to-day routine and your life. So that's what I get for you this week. I hope you have a wonderful week. This is really, like, as far as weeks go, I do these weekly horoscopes every week, and this looks like an uncomplicated, lovely, really positive week where you don't have to do, you know, huge amounts of soul searching, and it's just a nice, lovely week where you can blossom and thrive and make the most of all of the good things that the world has to offer. So engage with life, make the most of it, and have a fabulous week. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. If you have any questions around life purpose, past lifetimes, why you've come back and what your life purpose is this time around, and what you're supposed to be doing in your vocation, your work. If you have questions about romance and health and career and finance and travel and spiritual development and employment versus self-employment or moving somewhere else, any questions at all, I can answer those for you in a personal reading. So just get in touch with me via the website gregoryscott.com. Click on the book your readings button. Have a wonderful week. Check out my daily tarot readings, the monthly horoscopes for each sign of the zodiac, and the yearlies as well. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll speak to you next week.